Do, do, do. All right, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? I'm joined by my man, Big D.
Good fucking morning, goddammit. Oh shit, it's afternoon, my bad.
Toasty!
Indeed.
So,
But before we do that, since we're on the topic of that, I just got one thing to say to both Green and Tampa Bay. It's official. You suck.
so we're definitely in a interesting, stage, point of events, turn of events, kind of, we're just coming off of a very, I don't know, kind of like strange playoff win, but it's a playoff win. And I
Right.
guess, there's still some Eagles fans out there who are kind of upset at the performance and upset at, just flat out, just other performances from other teams who disappointed, who won. It's been a kind of interesting week. What are your thoughts?
The thing is, I'd be a lot madder at how we played yesterday, except for one thing. 2017 versus Atlanta in the divisional round back in 2017. We looked even worse in that game.
Yeah.
And look how that turned out.
Yeah, that's all the more reason not to panic.
And by the way, that's what happens when the Falcons face the Eagles when it truly matters. Just throwing that out there.
Yeah, Slitta. And by the way, Slitta, they're not getting rid of Morris, and that's all I'm going to say about the Falcons.
No. If they were going to do that, they would have fired him instead of the defensive coordinator. The thing is, when a coordinator gets fired instead of a head coach, it means they still have faith in the head coach. Case in point, them firing Brian Johnson and deciding Patricia instead of Sirianni. Keep in mind, a lot of us wanted Sirianni fired after last year.
Yeah, true. Especially after that Tampa Bay game. I was one of them.
I was like 50-50 or 60-40 on that one.
Yeah, so first of all,
that's the thing. We can't beat Tampa, but yet these fucking clown ass teams can. Someone explain that shit to me.
But then again, kind of playing devil's advocate here, you still wanted Tampa Bay to win. Explain to everybody.
Fucking name right, I did.
So explain to everybody why you wanted Tampa Bay to win yesterday.
Because Washington could kiss my ass. That's why. And so could Josh Harris. Yeah. Getting on that, I'm just going to say this right here and right now, that these Suxers will not be going forward with their arena move to Chinatown.
Oh, no.
The people of Chinatown spoke up, and with enough protest and enough resistance, they buckled, and they're now planning to move it to South Philly. They're going to stay in South Philly. So Chinatown remains intact. And that's basically what happens when you come together as a community. When you come, hopefully this should be a lesson to people going forward. Only by coming together can you hope to defeat the elitism and mobsterism of the state. Of course, there were a few people saying, we're going to vote out the motherfuckers who voted yes on it. Basically, this movement also proved just how useless and outdated the bureaucracy really is. But that won't be happening. But guess what? They still should be punished for even attempting to do that. And I will still laugh at them in the summer.
True. So as far as disappointments go, I get we won the game and everything. Like, what were your overall disappointments? Not strengths, not, positives, but overall disappointments from the game, just the game alone, the Packers and Eagles game.
The fact that the offense struggled to get anything going, and I don't think Green Bay's defense is really that good. And the Green Bay was turning the ball over left and right. How do you not capitalize off that? It seems like Philly, in doing what Philly does, the tradition, and trying to be it looked like they were being as honorable as they possibly could and giving Green Bay as much of a chance in this game as they could. But overall, Green Bay really had no chance.
And they had plenty of opportunities to get back in this fucking game.
We were affording them so many opportunities, but they couldn't capitalize. They could only do so much. They were able to get a few things going, but outside of that, they were still kept out. They still couldn't score in the red zone. Missing that field goal Missing that field goal earlier on really sucked.
We had 4 turnovers, and we only got 7 points out of it.
That is, well, as far as the fourth turnover is a game-ending one. I usually don't count those.
Yeah, I get it.
I usually don't count game sealers.
I get it. It was a garbage time one, so yeah,
that was a game sealer.
Yeah,
and also Saquon getting an open field and then him choosing to slide just so the game could end.
Even Eagles fans are mad about that. I'm kind of like,
Saquon Barkley is ridiculously unhateable unless you root for the Giants. I swear.
Mm-hmm.
This dude literally is sacrificing shit left and right. He had the opportunity to break the record against his former team, mind you, and he relinquished that. And now he could have gotten a touchdown in this game and chose to make sure the game was over.
He's looking for
unselfish ball player.
He's looking.
I also heard that he's mentoring the Giants' replacement running backs.
He's looking for everything that every Eagles fan wants, and that's the Super Bowl. He's only trying to be as healthy as possible. He did all of that just to make sure that he was healthy enough to be in that Super Bowl. We want to go to the Super Bowl.
Absolutely. And one of the big topics right now is RPF wanted Washington to lose, but now he would rather they beat Detroit.
Now we're getting to some juicy stuff, because there are some Eagles fans who, I don't want to say afraid of going to Detroit. I don't want to offend anybody, but I'm not afraid to go to Detroit. I really accept the challenge of actually going on the road. I accept the challenge of being on the road.
I get during the Super Bowl era, we never went to the Super Bowl by playing on the road. It's never happened. But but before the Super Bowl era, some people count it, some people don't count it. We won our second NFL championship in LA, and in 1960, I'm pretty sure we beat the Giants in New York to get to the championship in 1960 to beat the Packers. Yes, we won at home, but I'm just saying.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not completely off the table, but I totally understand where I don't agree with his decision. I don't like it, but I totally understand where he's coming from. Where RPF wants the easiest possible outcome. He believes that if Washington knocks off Detroit, it'll be way easier for the Eagles to get back to the Super Bowl.
Yeah. And if you don't mind, Big D, I would like to play a little bit of a flashback from that Bones video that I showed you earlier.
All right. You're on a desktop, right?
Yes.
All right. I gotta get me one. Even though I actually did.
He actually said this during our Christmas game, and this still came around full circle. And everything he had to say in this video to kind of motivate us Eagles fans,
You'll probably have to skim over some parts.
Yeah, I'll probably play the first 4 minutes or whatever, but still.
Right.
Eagle fans. Merry Christmas, motherfuckers. Man, those last 2 games gave y'all some humble pie, huh? Us, we've been having it all fucking season, to be quite honest with you. But my God, is it funny watching you motherfuckers going shambles? All right, Nitro Freak, I'm going to get to the point. The next time you make a video saying we're going to lose the next 3 games and then come to my fucking page and saying, oh, we're going to win this game. Stop flip-flopping! What's wrong with you?
Nitro is known to do that.
Yeah, he is. That's why I don't like him.
He's the biggest contradiction. My boy in Philly hates him.
You've done this shit. As a matter of fact, I think you've done this shit as long as I've known you. Make up your mind. Y'all are goofy as fuck, bro. Seriously. I remember EC1. Oh, when we beat Dallas, the next time we play them, we're probably going to rest our starters. How did that work for you? You didn't even rest your starters. You had to fight for the #1 seed again. Home field advantage. Now look at you motherfuckers. You guys are acting like you guys have to count on home field advantage. You guys are still in the playoffs. We're out. Somehow we're still in the hunt, but I hate scenarios. I hate scenarios. We should have never put ourselves in that position. That's our fault. You motherfuckers, on the other hand, have got to be one of the biggest fucking pussies. What the fuck are you guys relying on home field advantage for? Acting like your season is all. Your season ain't over. What happened to you guys? Y'all were the most confident fucking fan base this entire year.
Me and RPF being the exception.
Go back and flip-flop saying how much you fucking own us. Get back to that. You guys were more entertaining. Now you guys look like a bunch of fucking morons. Bunch of sad fucking twats. Win your fucking playoff games on the road. The Giants winning their 4 Super Bowls. We won our playoff games on the road 3 fucking times. The only time we ever got home field advantage was 1986.
Nothing.
Be fucking men about it and win your playoff games on the road. I'm trying to, and don't even fucking think. I mean, yeah, I may be, yeah, okay. No. I'm right. I may be insulting you motherfuckers because I hate y'all. But man, I have never expected any of you to be pussying out like that. Eagles fan for life 17 would have been turning his fucking head around. You guys need to appreciate being road warriors. Because the Giants had to do it majority of their fucking franchise history. I remember the Giants having a 4-game losing streak, still making the playoffs, still going to the Super Bowl, and still winning it. That is the difference between y'all and us. Call us the dumbest fan base all you want. I see you guys as the most scared because y'all like to count on your hostile environment. Why can't y'all team be about that environment? You're like the Seahawks waiting on their 12th man. Man, fuck the Eagles' 12th man. Appreciate the fact that y'all are still in the playoffs and that you could still win your games on the road and still win the Super Bowl. It's there for the taking, Eagles. Come on and get it. And us, we're in the way. How is it that we're in the way, but I'm having more fun with this than all you motherfuckers? Whereyahidin, stop fucking being all sad, rolling all around in your fucking bed like a little fucking pansy. Get your ass up. Show these motherfuckers how much you hate us. Yeah, that's the TTC's dead, but I'll try and make this interesting as much as I can possible. This is the Christmas Bowl. I fucking love that we were playing. I loved it when we were playing on Christmas. I wish we had a better scenario, man. It's been a big fucking letdown year. And not only that, as the season was going by, I was expecting you guys to be the most cockiest motherfuckers in this game. Just like how we are towards Washington. You guys are super confident against us, man. But man, I never thought I would see you guys in shambles. Y'all disappoint me, man. Win your playoff games off on the road.
Yeah. So what are your thoughts?
Well, here's the thing. I have an interjection to that. You see, historically, the Giants have had way more success winning their runs on the road, but they struggled at home a lot, which is kind of the flip side of Philly's history. Case in point, the Giants had home field advantage in 2008, and we went in there and smacked the dog shit out of them.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying it can't happen, but historically, Philly has been very reliant on having the number 1 seed for Super Bowl runs.
Yeah. And the only other time we've ever been a 2 seed was a time we also went to the Super Bowl, and that was the
1980. Yeah. I didn't even know that until Dashy pointed that out to me.
And here's another ironic fact about that 1980 season. The 1980 Raiders did it all on the road. The first ever wild card team to ever win a Super Bowl.
Yeah. Some teams can do it, and some teams aren't as successful. I thought the Giants beat the San Francisco Niners at home in 1990, but I guess not.
So the reason I'm kind of bringing this up, I mean, there's a lot of fans like RPF who's kind of disappointed, that Tampa Bay lost yesterday. I know you are as well. But we can actually win this thing on the road in Detroit if it's necessary. If Detroit somehow wins against Washington.
They should easily stomp the dog shit out of them.
They will. We can.
But the thing is, we got to win our game.
We do, and we will.
I got the Rams upsetting Minnesota.
I got Minnesota winning tonight.
Most people do.
Yeah.
Because Minnesota, on paper, is the much better team, but the Rams have been hotter lately. I could definitely... And Minnesota is not that... I don't think Minnesota is really that good if their defense can't clamp down on the opposing team. If their offense can't get anything going, then they're in trouble.
I'm going to tell you this, Big D. I really think Sam Darnold is masked by the talent around him.
Yeah. Which is what I've been saying about Jalen for the longest time. However, this in a situation where both defenses are clamping down, that's where Jalen has an advantage over almost any QB. When both defenses are playing lights out and neither offense is able to really do anything, Jalen has the advantage in that situation.
What's going on?
Primest example of that, Baltimore. And that could happen against Detroit. If Detroit's offense, let's say we do end up having to fight the Lions I'm pretty sure they don't play at Ford Field. I think they have a new stadium. I don't know the name of it. But say we have to go there. We have to suck it up and we have to go there. If the Lions offense is able to do their thing, we're losing. But if we can slow down the Lions offense and hold them under 20 like we've been almost any other team, then winning is a lot easier. Then we should be able to do it because Detroit is at a massive disadvantage defensively.
Yes.
It depends on how the game goes. If Detroit's offense is able to get it going, Detroit has the advantage in an offensive scenario.
Now
we have the defensive advantage.
Here's how I look at it, though. They haven't seen Quinyon Mitchell yet. They haven't seen Dijon Cooper yet. They haven't seen any of our guys yet who have been shutting teams down consistently, except for that, call it whatever you want, versus Washington. They really haven't seen us yet.
Yeah, the only two teams that have seen us, there's only 3 teams that have seen us the second time.
Oh,
Dallas, Washington, and Green Bay.
Here's an interesting question. Although I think it will never happen, a Super Bowl being held in Philly, it will never happen.
Not in a million years.
They do not like our city. Tourists do not want to come to Philly. They think it's a rotten town anyway, and it's not.
Well, it definitely has its downsides. It's got its problems for sure, but so does every other major city.
It's a historic
the way I see it.
People don't see it.
If you could take your asses to that hotbed of crime, LA, then you can go to Philly. I don't give a shit.
Y'all are going to beat the dog shit out of the Commanders. What are you talking about?
Yeah, absolutely, AIP.
Yeah.
Now, RPF's argument, RPF's case is he wants the easiest possible scenario. And as far as Desert is concerned, I do appreciate him clearing it up. Because at first, last night, I thought he was just all of a sudden being all condescending and getting on everybody's cases for thinking the game is that we could choke the game, and it definitely looked like it could have happened. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna go there. I don't give a fuck. But I'm glad he cleared up the fact that he was merely exposing the contradiction of overly confident fanboys that thought that Green Bay was going to be a cakewalk, and all of a sudden are turning it up as soon as things all of a sudden don't go their way. Kind of like what Bones was doing in that other video. In the video Bones was making, he was exposing contradictions as well.
Yes.
Now, because a lot of people were overconfident as a motherfucker, and I took the brunt of it, and so did RPF after that Kansas City game, and how quickly those motherfuckers turned it. All of them, they turned the other way as soon as that San Francisco game happened.
Yeah.
Me and RPF had the same attitude the entire time.
Oh, by the way, I did send Desert Eagle that link because I really love those two guys. Like, I don't want to see them fussing and fighting. So
I'm pretty sure they cleared it up.
They did.
But Desert explained that the reason he was like that is because at first he said, "Do not take the Packers lightly," which is what I said.
Yeah.
And then he got a fucking Stepford fanboy mob come after him on Twitter. But by the way, when you quote tweet somebody on Twitter, it's a higher chance that a mob's going to come after you.
Yeah.
Because you're just exposing them more. And also, I am eternally grateful I'm banned from Twitter because it's such a goddamn shit show.
Wait a minute, are you calling the Commanders Nazis?
Yeah, that sounds about right. I can't believe RPF didn't notice that one of the tracks I played in the background was a Jake the Snake Roberts theme. And it went over your head. The final boss from Pac-Man World 2.
Yeah.
But again, back to what I was saying. Desert was merely exposing the contradiction to the maximum degree, which I also do appreciate.
Yeah, whoever that woman was that decided to quote the tweet, I mean, just do some fucking dishes, do something. Like, what the fuck, man?
Well, you got your hands are on the controls, so otherwise I'd have a clip for that. Yeah, me too. But the thing is, I don't seek them out anymore. I don't have that fucking time. But if they come my way, they're gonna regret it. That's just how it is.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've had a few Stepfords. I've had a few Stepfords in my comments, or ones that are on the comments replying to what I have to say, and whether it be your or Joey's video. Yeah. It's like, were these fuckers born yesterday? Yeah, well, the thing is, RPF's main gripe is the Stepfords, the overly positive motherfuckers. I'm after the motherfuckers who often contradict themselves, much like Desert was last night.
Yeah.
Motherfuckers that, and I've mentioned this in a past video, that these are the motherfuckers that will go from gloating about how they're going to win the Super Bowl one day to demanding everybody and their dog be fired in the next day.
But when they're wrong and proven wrong, they will not take accountability. They will not come back or apologize.
Nope. So don't ever expect it.
That's a female mentality. Females act like that.
Not entirely true.
Yeah, you're right.
There's a lot of fucking men who are like that. In fact, I grew up with narcissist men like that.
And there's some women that actually apologize, so let me take that back.
That is true. Yeah.
Me and Desert are good. I like Desert. I like him as an Eagles fan, and more importantly, as a human being.
Me too.
I do too.
I have a lot of respect for him and always will.
Yeah, definitely, man.
Yeah, I do. I do appreciate. I appreciate him clearing that up a lot. I misinterpreted. That's on me. And
But as far as tonight, though, I do think the Vikings are going to win.
Straw. 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 Oh, I think I'm gonna have one.
I didn't know Vikings still existed.
They mostly live in Minnesota.
the Pokemon anime, the first movie with Mewtwo.
I had to get that.
Speaking of which, here's a real mindfuck. In Super Smash Bros. Melee, Jigglypuff is one of the best characters in the game, and Mewtwo is one of the worst.
I could agree with you on that.
Platform fighter archetypes right there for you.
I agree with you because I used to play Smash Bros. When I was a kid.
Yeah, but which one did you play more, Smash 64 or Melee?
64.
Yeah, Mewtwo was not in 64. He's in Remix, which is the backport, which is a mod of 64 with a lot of backported characters and some new ones like Conquer.
Wasn't he also in Pokemon Stadium too?
Yeah. Mewtwo was in all the stadiums. Stadium 1 is Gen 1. Stadium 2 is Gen 2.
Okay.
Mewtwo was the final boss of Stadium 1, and in Stadium 2, he was on the team of your rival, who was the final boss of Stadium 2. He uses Mewtwo, Lugia, and Ho-Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Even though you could meanwhile, you could sweep his entire team with Tyranitar.
Mm.
Although I don't know if his Mewtwo carried submission. I'm not sure.
So yeah, it's kind of like interesting. Like all these Eagles fans are so mad after a win. It's just like, let's talk about a little bit about the Jalen Hurts hate for a second, if you want.
AKA and the justified criticism.
Yeah, there's some justified criticism.
There's a lot of justified criticism.
I will point out, I was upset when Jalen Hurts, on one instance, he decided to take a 3-yard sack, even though he was out of the pocket and he could have thrown it away.
In one of those instances, Dallas Goedert was wide open. It was a second down.
Yeah.
But of course, that was only one throw. And then there was one where he missed a wide open AJ Brown. That was a walk-in touchdown. He overthrew him. Of course, that was one throw. Now, the thing is, the reason I'm not all over him for this is Nick Foles was even worse against the Falcons in 2017.
Yeah.
Of course, that doesn't mean he's just going to go out there the very next week and just absolutely light up whoever we face. That could still happen, but that doesn't mean it's going to happen. I'm ruling nothing out.
You're opening up a positive light of optimism right there.
Probably because there's a bit of history behind it.
And also, let's talk a little bit about AJ Brown since you brought him up. He only had 3 targets, 1 reception for 10 yards.
Yeah, I don't know how the fuck that happened. I don't know how many Devontae Smith had. I lost track. And Dallas Goedert dropped one, but he did make up for it later on by stiff-arming a motherfucker into the shadow realm.
Yeah. And these haters are going to be nitpicking.
If I had more time to edit, I probably would have included that short clip of "and move, bitch, get out the way" like I did with Saquon.
They're going to be talking about AJ reading a book on the sideline too.
By the way, I think Bones. I sent Bones that video. Run, Saquon, run. He would have gotten the reference right away, but I don't. I kind of don't blame him for avoiding that video like a blight plague.
Mm-hmm. He says, "Man, do I have a bad temper or what?" Yeah, you do. You do.
Me too.
I do sometimes too.
I almost always do, and I usually try to avoid the situations as much as I can because I go overboard, and it's gonna bite me in the ass one day. If it hasn't already.
At the end of the day,
there's times where it has.
At the end of the day, we're surrounded by stupid ass people. And
yes,
the thing I got to realize is, I can't be affected by stupid ass people. That's the reason why I don't get angry too much anymore.
Unless they stand in your way of your goals.
No motherfucker stop me or stand in my way. I'm the juggernaut, bitch.
Saying something don't make it true. I always thought, for some reason, I always thought that was in GTA 4, but that was actually in GTA 5.
Mm.
Where the one guy says,
Whereyahidin, who do you want to see between the Rams and the Vikings? I'll take whoever.
I don't give a fuck.
I really think we're going to see the Vikings. I think we're going to get rid of every single NFC North team available. So far, we got rid of the Packers. I said this coming into the playoffs, and I'm saying it now. I'm standing on it.
We also got rid of the Bears, too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah? Did we?
I would rather nobody question how exactly that happened.
I'm still trying to think.
Oh, shit, RPF. Someone called a popo on you? Damn.
That's why you left. Oh, shit. Well, you're still alive and you're still here. So I guess nothing happened.
That's good.
No offense. I've never seen you before, but welcome to the chat. Damn. 12? Man, fuck 12.
Damn.
That's crazy. It's amazing.
Somebody need to ask these snitches why they talking to police. No justice, no peace. NYPD, LAPD, NYPD. When that's on, that's who you get, huh? NYPD, LAPD, NYPD. That's your motherfucking clique, huh? NYPD, LAPD, NYPD. You a motherfucking snitch, huh? That one never gets old.
Had to let you have a moment there. You never know. This might be on a funny montage.
I don't think it'll qualify. There's definitely going to be better moments.
Yeah. So already some good moments already this year. Slitta's losing. I'm winning.
And of course he had to bring up week 2 last night. It's like, yeah, and what'd you do with that?
Yeah, we're in a playoff.
How'd that work out for you?
You let a team that you swept win the division over you.
Yeah, that's amazingly pathetic.
That's on some 2016 Giants.
You ended up missing the playoffs. Meanwhile, another team got 14 wins. So in essence, what have they really accomplished?
You're worse than the 2016 Giants, who happened to get swept by the Cowboys, then still let them win the division. But at least they made the playoffs. What's going on, Jerome?
I would say the worst of it all was the 2010 Raiders. Swept the entire division, but still missed the playoffs.
What the fuck?
I'm dead serious. In 2010, the Raiders swept the entire division. They swept the Broncos, Chiefs, and Chargers and still missed the playoffs.
What was their record that year?
8-8.
What the fuck? They only had 2 out of division games they won. That's crazy.
Yeah. And there were a few of them that they should have won, but still.
Oh, damn it. I forgot. Oh, you're a Broncos fan. God damn it. Oh, I was pulling for y'all. I'm not going to lie.
Well, the Bills were a bridge too far, unfortunately.
Yeah. I had to be real and just pick the Bills to win. I'm sorry, man.
Kind of like how with Green Bay, Philly was a bridge too far.
Yeah, and the Ravens to the Steelers.
And you can't. Number one, you can't go into Philly. You can't go into Philly not at 100% and turn the ball over multiple times and expect to win. Even though Philly was giving you chances, Philly was trying to keep you in it, but it wasn't enough.
Yeah, Love just couldn't capitalize off of his mistake, off of our mistakes neither.
Oh, that fourth down catch that he went out of bounds. Oof.
Yeah, he couldn't keep a foot in.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's what happens.
I guess the wind kind of had something to do with it.
No, he was just unlucky. And that's a horrible way to lose downs.
Yeah, and plus that throw was very high. What's up with this?
And how about Nolan Smith getting a couple sacks?
Oh yeah.
The man is developing.
Pause.
Hey, how you doing, A-Fizz?
Yeah, he's developing into his own, man. Like I saw him, his pressure rate was very good on Jordan Love. He was having Jordan Love running for his life all last night.
Even though the main guy that was having him run, the main guy that was flushing him out was Jalen Carter, as usual.
That big motherfucker is scary.
Even though he don't get the sacks, but he forces things.
Yeah, he does. Mm.
And he also batted a ball down at the line of scrimmage.
Oh, so the cops were able. So the cops did see you. They just let you go. Then.
Yeah.
They shouldn't have been there in the first place. Who was a fucking snitch that fucking snitched on this man?
Yeah, that's why you got to be careful in this gen. My area is notorious for fucking snitch ass motherfuckers.
Man.
My area is a complete rat infestation.
And it's also the difference between generations. Like back in the 90s, my parents were fucking arguing every other fucking day. And never had the cops called on them. We never.
It's different. It's different it depends on the neighborhood you're in.
Yeah.
Like for example, if you live in Camden, it ain't gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
If you live in Chester, it's not gonna happen. You live in fucking Kensington, it's for damn sure ain't gonna happen.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't know about Paulsboro. No, obviously you're never gonna find that out, RPF, but just saying.
Yeah, nobody's going to squeal because they know they're going to get their ass beat by you. I mean, come on now.
To quote Run the Truth Killings in TNA back in 2002, you actually think they're going to show their faces? I seriously doubt it. You know why? They all a bunch of punk-ass cowards.
Mm-hmm. I'll quote Sublime. Believe me when I say that I got something for his punk ass.
Depends on what kind of Sublime we're talking about.
That was Santeria.
Because when I think of Sublime, I think of that fucking song "Doing Time," which was on Dave Mirra's BMX game.
Nice.
That was like that was my brother's bicycle phase.
What were your thoughts on Saquon's performance, especially in the fourth quarter?
I thought he did pretty well, all things considered.
He also got injured in that game a little bit, if you noticed.
Yeah, teeny bit, yeah. I think one of our receivers did too, but I don't remember who it was.
Receivers. Who the fuck got injured? It must have been one of our backups.
Yeah, it might have been. Dude, you didn't see this, but somebody in Joey's live chat predicted that Quinyon Mitchell was going to get an interception and Jahan Dotson was going to get a touchdown. I don't know if it was the same person or it was two different people that predicted one of each.
Mm.
They should definitely go to Vegas.
And by the way, this dude, Quinyon Mitchell, is the first Eagles rookie with a playoff interception since Roniel Young. I actually had to do research on this guy.
And that was way back when. What year was that?
1981.
Yuck. That was when we went one and done against the Giants.
No.
Unless it's part of the 80 season.
Yeah, it's part of the 80 season. It happened in
Who
January.
was in it?
It happened
And
in
who did he
January.
face?
January of 81.
Yeah.
The Super Bowls were in January.
Against which team?
Ooh, that's a very good question. They don't tell us who.
You could probably look it up in like the post game stats of Eagles, whatever the two games were in. Either he picked off Danny White or he picked off whoever Minnesota's QB was.
Playoff interception. That's an interesting question. But I was doing research on this guy, though. Like, I had to know who this guy was. I was like, whoa, this is a name that I've never heard before.
But for all we know, he could have been the defensive version of Percy Howard. Percy Howard was a guy that nobody knew who he was, and then he caught 2 touchdowns in the Super Bowl. They didn't win, but still. It was the first Super Bowl against Pittsburgh where one guy congratulated the Steelers kicker for missing the field goal, and then Jack Lambert came right from behind and slammed him to the ground, and that altered the outcome of the game. That changed the entire atmosphere permanently. Exactly, Fizz. Whoever it is.
I got Minnesota winning tonight. He's got the Rams winning tonight.
Yeah, I got the Rams pulling out the upset. I don't think Darnold's really that good. I feel like he's going to get exposed again like he did against Detroit. But you never know.
Game summaries. I'm going to find out I'm going to find out when he did this.
I'm pretty sure if you look his name up, it'll tell you.
But go ahead and talk to the people, I guess. I'm going to do my research on this.
All right. Indeed. We're gonna find out who we got next week tonight. I personally, Tommy Kramer, okay, that was Minnesota's QB back then. Yep. If anybody knows anything, RPF definitely studies up on his NFL history. It's probably a little bit easier for him to remember because he's been a fan since the late 80s, but he's also read up on his history, so he knows a lot of the 30s, 40s, 50s, and whatnot. I don't have the kind of time to really research everybody. I mean, I did back in the day. That's how I know who the likes of Alexis Thompson, the Happy 100, Wild Willie, Pete Retzlaff, Pete Fios, Tommy McDonald. I know who Charlie Connerly is. I know who Frank Ryan is. I know who Hank Stram is. And I don't know why I thought that someone else was that the Colts had a backup QB in the Super Bowl against the Jets and not Unitas. I don't know where I got that from. Maybe I got the years confused.
Oh, son of a bitch. All three of his turnovers in that 1980 season. No, it happened all in the 1980 season, and I'm trying to figure out which game it is. Oh, man. I got to tighten up my search.
You'll probably have to do game log. It depends on which site you're doing. You could go Pro Football Reference. You can go Pro Football Reference. That's probably one of the most reliable ones for that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's usually what I do when it comes to like historical stuff.
We have the Vikings. Let me check the Vikings game first, the divisional round. We had the Vikings, Cowboys, and Raiders. He did not get any versus the Raiders or Cowboys, so that's eliminated.
So he picked off Tommy Kramer.
Okay.
Well, there you go, and there's your answer.
Okay. RPF had it all along.
No, he said that he just told me who Minnesota's QB was. He didn't say that he had it against Kramer, even though he probably would have pointed it out if we still didn't get it.
Yeah. So we picked off Kramer 3 times in that game.
I think he told me that his mother hated Ron Jaworski. My family didn't really like him all that much either. They didn't like Herman Edwards either.
Oh my God. I know Giants fans love Jaws.
Yeah, 1981 ring a bell.
Oh yeah. Considering his son, Lawrence Taylor's son, he fucking congratulated him at the Hall of Fame ceremony, which I hate.
What, the Eagles Hall of Fame?
The LT's Hall of Fame, Lawrence Taylor.
Oh, Lawrence Taylor in Canton.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
His son is a fucking prick and a twat.
I bet many of you don't know this, but Lawrence Taylor actually provided the voice for B.J. Smith in Grand Theft Auto Vice City. He was the guy you bought the auto dealership from.
Wow.
Yeah, he's voiced by Lawrence. When you look at Grand Theft Auto, you look at the soundtrack from GTA 3 when it had like Sean Price, Royce da 5'9", and then you had Chatterbox. And then you look at Vice City's playlist and their radio stations, it literally screamed, we have 20 times the budget now. All of a sudden you're hearing like fucking Ozzy Osbourne, Slayer, Anthrax, Autograph, Michael Jackson, Barry White. No, I don't think Barry White was in Vice City. He was in Vice City Stories, though. And then Herbie Hancock.
We're gonna take
Grandmaster Flash.
We're gonna take a quick commercial break. I have to use the bathroom real quick.
Cock-a-doodle-doo, it's time for chicken.
Cock-a-doodle-doo, it's time for a feast. Eat a 90-piece bucket, you can tell.
He's been to Clucking Bell. The chicken is a bird with a tiny brain.
So we assume he doesn't feel any pain. We shrink their heads and we breed them fast. 6 wings, 40 breasts, and then they're gassed.
Cock-a-doodle-doo, we're psychotic crazy.
Cock-a-doodle-doo, factory farming's insane.
We denied it all before a stock price fell. Come down to Clucking Bell.
Clucking Bell. If you enjoy it, the chicken didn't die in vain.
That never gets old. That never gets old. And neither do the ammunition commercials. You just gave me an idea. I'll probably do that for like advertising. I got a few more of them, like Fernando's New Beginnings, which they have sponsored me before. I've been sponsored by Fernando Martinez before. And yeah, I'm gonna do that. The ammunition commercial. I got a few good ones in the future. And we can still, I mean, for those of you who don't know, this is my Exodus tour. So when I semi-retire, I'm not going to retire from it completely. It's semi-retire, meaning I'll still make a few videos here and there, but it's not going to be regularly scheduled programming anymore. My regularly scheduled stuff will be a lot of like fashion designing, maybe. I don't think I'll be doing vlogs or anything like that. I'll think about it. It'll be like a lot of like leather, like fashion crafting, like video game lore. The legacies of failure will still be a thing. They aren't going to be limited to just sports teams.
What did I miss? I just came from the bathroom.
You didn't miss anything. Yeah, you just gave me an idea. Another good one is the ammunition commercial. Cluckety cluck cluck, sir. How may I further degrade myself, sir? Only 10% guano. Hope you choke-a-doodle-doo. The chewy bits aren't harmful, sir. Careful, don't choke on the bone fragments. If you come back, you're a moron. Yo, man, your barber ought to be shot for that, CJ. Hey, your vehicle is garbage. That car is doo-doo.
Oh, shit. Here we go again.
Fun fact. Also, another fun fact. The fat Grove Street member would go on to voice Franklin in GTA 5.
Mm.
You clearly hear him. You clearly hear him say that when. You clearly hear him say that when he says, "Whose weed is this anyway?" Because the voice of Franklin and the voice of CJ are actually cousins in real life. GTA, the Grand Theft Auto has always had issues with protagonists and like pay and stuff. They've always seemed to have falling outs. They say that Ray Liotta was a massive diva behind the scenes for Vice City. In San Andreas, it was usually a pay thing, and also the current people at Rockstar are not the same people he was cool with back in the day. And the voice of Nico Bellic, he had a falling out with them, which is why he doesn't appear in GTA 5. He probably would have appeared. Hopefully they don't kill him off like they did Johnny.
Things we hate by the New York Giants defense.
We hate quarterbacks with their sneaky little tricks.
And we hate halfbacks who block us when we blitz.
We hate most everything.
But we love fancy life. Refreshing fancy life.
That little
touch of lemon makes it taste so right.
Yeah, we hate most everything.
But we love Pepsi Light.
Pepsi Light. It's 1 calorie men love.
Pepsi Light.
That must have been the precursor for Pepsi 1 that would go on to be Pepsi Max.
Mm.
The one that sticks out to me is like the Pepsi Max commercial where it's the fucking classic Roxbury soundtrack.
I'll always appreciate that Coke commercial by Mean Joe Green.
Hey, kid. Yeah, they parodied that in Family Guy a few times.
Yeah. It's also
And
been
then there were,
a couple times too.
and not so fun fact, we passed on Joe Green back in the day.
Oh my God! Imagine.
We took that bum Leroy Keys, even though we needed a running back, but still.
Yeah. Ooh! Imagine how much more Super Bowls.
Thank God we've been a lot better at drafting lately.
Yeah.
Thank God, and I feel like that's paying dividends right now. For example, Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean. And people were thinking that Cooper DeJean was the better pick than Mitchell, which could still be the case.
Doesn't even matter. They're both on our team.
Right. Like people were thinking the Cooper DeJean, I think, was more likely to be projected. He was projected to more likely be the Eagles' first pick. And then they traded and got him anyway.
Mm.
Yeah, at first it was like, oh, they went with Mitchell. People thought they were going to go with DeJean, and then they ended up getting him anyway.
Mm-hmm. It's fucking.
And then Nolan Smith is slowly coming into his own. Jalen Carter's doing his thing.
If I like being around Cowboys face really changed my life. Like I won't even drink regular soda anymore. I have to have 0 sugar in my freaking soda.
Here's the problem with that.
Yeah.
Artificial sweeteners are worse. That's worse than regular.
Really? How so?
Artificial sweeteners are worse. Because you don't know what's fucking in that shit. And it's actually proven that it's more disastrous. It's more detrimental. And the thing is, there's a lot of common misconceptions that people have been lying to us about for decades. Like they tried to demonize butter, which is why seed oils have become a problem. They've demonized sugar, which is why a lot of these artificial sweeteners that are complete crap.
And sesame
shit that's
oil.
made in the lab.
And sesame oil too.
Well, that's another seed oil, sesame seed.
Yep.
Calm down. Don't pop your sesame seeds. You know where that's from, right?
I have no idea.
Literally the same show and the same episode where You Want a Hamburger with Peanut Butter on It is from.
Oh!
Is that one of the Huns from Mulan?
He is.
Yeah. That's your version of Ganondorf's Warlock Punch yell.
Yeah, you showed that immediately after I showed that to you last night.
That will never get old. And I always love when Ganon mains in Smash will throw it out in Melee. Not everybody does it. And there's not really a lot of Ganondorf mains right now. Because the best Ganondorf player got banned because he triggered the Rainbow community, the Rainbow Mafia. So now he's banned from tournaments. Although Mech didn't exactly do himself any favors, but still.
He said 1983, the Eagles were terrible. In 83 through 87, the Eagles were terrible in the mid-80s.
Absolutely. Almost like they were terrible in the 70s.
And the 90s.
And in the mid-80s, in 85 is the most notorious one because they took a rapist cokehead over Jerry Rice.
Wow.
And back in the 80s, family members brought this up to me that when it came to NFL team spending, the team that spent the most was the 49ers, and the Eagles spent the least.
That's crazy.
One of the least. Like Bremen is right up there with Hugh Culverhouse for worst owner in NFL history. And RPF is going to bring this up any chance he gets. We dodged a fucking bullet with that one.
Yeah.
Obviously, in the no kidding department, we're not going to argue against that.
Yep.
Literally every NFC East team was doing well except us. All we had was that defense, and that was it.
Yeah.
Having only that and no utility and no game plan and no direction is like having a sword that's too heavy to wield.
It's like you're asking to be as lucky as the 2000 Ravens.
True, but here's the thing: people forget how good Jamal Lewis was during that time.
Yeah, he rushed for 2,000 yards that season.
No, he rushed for 2,000 in 2001.
Ooh, the next season.
Yes, 2000 was his rookie season, and he turned it up in the playoffs. He had as many rushing yards as Saquon did last night in per game.
Yeah.
So that's kind of we're like with Saquon, we're hoping that it's the same case as 98 Terrell Davis and 2000 Jamal Lewis.
Yes.
Keep in mind that in 90 Terrell Davis is the only 2,000 yard rusher that was on a Super Bowl winning team.
Wow.
In 1998, Terrell Davis rushed for 2,000 yards, and his team won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I was about to give him a friendly. No,
And by the way, and I'm going to mention this again, in the Super Bowl against the Falcons, he had 25 carries.
25 carries. Wow.
Why is that number so significant?
Oh, damn, Falcons. Oh, man.
25, 25 is a number that will forever haunt them.
You know what else?
Oh, man, if they suck in 2025, it'll be the 25 curse yet again.
I got something else that's going to haunt them right here.
Welcome to Atlanta, Georgia, home of the mumble rappers and scammers. Would you like to try the McFalcon meal today?
Hey, shawty, hold on, let me turn on this bullshit cutlass motor. What all come on that Falcon meal, shawty?
Our McFalcon meal comes with a dirty bird, or shall I say dirty pigeon. You also have 25 years of crying tears of a fan base, nice and cold. We have 28-3 French fries, so hot, so crisp. All you gotta do is just blow them away. And for dessert, you get a hometown favorite, a sussy pie. How does that sound?
The most ironic thing is it was a Panthers fan that made that. The fact that that's the Panthers fandom makes that pretty ironic. Because they chose.
Go ahead.
If the thing is, the Panthers they choked a Super Bowl a year before that.
Is this Joey Shakes?
No.
I can zoom into his profile. He looks kind of dark to be Joey Shakes, but if the Eagles would have played anyone else last night, they're cleaning out their lockers today. I don't know about that, man. You kidding?
Fake news.
Yeah. I don't know.
Obviously, that doesn't matter now.
Yeah.
If we lose the next round, we lose in the next round.
However, welcome to the chat anyway. I don't even hope we get the Vikings. I just know.
I don't care who we get.
Yeah. I'm kind of that way too.
Like, whoever we get is whoever we get. It's up to us to fucking rise to the damn occasion.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we're gonna have to suck it. We're gonna have to suck it up and go face the Lions in Detroit.
That's it. Yeah, that is what it is.
I feel like regardless of what happens,
we're
gonna have to suck it up and have to rise up to that occasion.
Yeah, we can't be scared, man.
The thing is, the situation would have been avoided had it not been for week 2 or that fucking second Washington game.
Or that
all the defense had to do was fucking show up and they didn't.
Or the Bears deciding not to take a field goal in fucking regulation versus the Lions on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, that fucking idiot's clock management. That motherfucker deserved to be fired.
Yeah.
He was fired after that game, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I was so fucking furious at him. I was so fucking pissed.
He got his comeuppance by being out of a job.
Yeah, that's justice.
No, it's karma and it's vengeance. Justice is about harmony. Vengeance is about people making themselves feel better about something.
Can you put that quote on your wall in your house? That is a very good quote.
It's from Batman Begins. It was when Bruce Wayne was going to kill Joe Chill, the man who killed his parents while he was standing trial in court. He hit a twin revolver. He hit a stubby revolver in his coat sleeve, and he was going to kill Joe Chill. And then when he was going to go do it, he hesitated for a bit. And then when he was interviewed by the paparazzi, all of a sudden one guy come out and says, "Falcone says hi," and shoots him.
Interesting.
Because he was too much. He was going to rat. Basically, what happens when you confess in court or whatever.
Yeah.
Because Falcone also had the judge in his pocket, so he had eyes everywhere. And that's what happens when they were in the car. Rachel was like, Falcone paid Joe Chill paid off the judge to get Chill out in the open. And then Bruce Wayne says that he should thank Falcone. And she's like, no, not true. And he's like, my parents deserve justice. And she said, well, you're not talking about justice. You're talking about revenge. Well, Bruce says, well, sometimes they're the same. And she says, no, they're never the same, Bruce. Justice is about harmony. Revenge is about you making yourself feel better. It's why we have an impartial system.
Wow.
There's a lot of memorable quotes in Batman Begins.
Yeah, that's one of them. That was deep.
Even though, funnily enough, I actually played the game first.
They had a game. Excuse me for sounding stupid, but that was actually a game.
There was a Batman Begins game.
Wow.
And it's the only video game voice role Christian Bale ever did. They got every actor to do the voices except for Gary Oldman.
Oh, okay. He said, I disagree. I think the Commanders can beat the Lions. Okay. I like a little disagreement of opinions. I like this. Why do you think that in the comments you think the Commanders can beat the Lions?
Because likely because Daniels can pick apart that depleted Lions defense.
I was just about to get to that too.
And Washington Washington on paper has a top 10 pass defense.
Mm-hmm.
So those things could help them out.
Yeah. Time management, I would rule that in the favor of Washington. So
yeah,
how Washington
time management, something Tampa doesn't have.
Yeah, the entire NFC South lacks it.
Oh, the NFC South couldn't manage a game clock if their lives depended on it. So worse. The NFC South as a whole probably is the worst clock management in the NFL.
That's why they have, as a division, the least amount of Super Bowls.
And the least amount of wins, too.
Yeah. The worst.
Although, to be fair, a lot of them are, even though they're all expansion franchises, but still.
The worst division in the fucking league.
By a considerable margin.
Oh. And they're
fairly. The Falcons should have won the division, period.
And all of these teams are fairly new. I think the oldest team might be the Falcons at 1966.
Yeah, the Falcons are the oldest. I think they came about in 1960. The Saints came around like 1967, 68, somewhere around there. Bucks, 1976. Panthers, 95.
Hold up. The Falcons came up in 1966.
Right, like literally a year or two before the Saints, or around the same time.
Yeah.
And the Falcons have been better. The Falcons were better than the Saints back in the day.
Out of everybody in the NFC South, I honestly hate the Buccaneers the most. I know Slitta is going to look at me like, are you kidding me? As much as you've been roasting the Falcons all season? Nah, I really hate Tampa Bay because of how that affected my childhood. I can't stand Rondé Barber for the life of me.
But what about Simeon Rice?
Yeah, him too. Mike Allstott. Fucking
Joe Jurevicius.
I was going to say him too. Freaking, damn, what's his name? He's on ESPN now. Keyshawn Johnson.
I forgot Keyshawn Johnson was on that Super Bowl team. I thought he was with Dallas by a certain point.
He
but
was.
no, they gave him to Dallas, and then they got Joey Galloway from them.
Yeah,
and I believe they also got fuck. Who else did they get back then?
He also went to He also went to Carolina one of those years, later part of his years.
No, I was thinking Antonio Bryant, but I think Bryant got there much later. Because
my dad used to always call him Sad Sap.
Oh yeah, because he had that face about him. And also the Eagles passed on Warren Sapp too.
Yeah, I know that. I remember that story.
They passed on Warren Sapp, and they passed on on John Lynch too.
Dude, nobody fucking remembers Brad Johnson.
Yeah, he had the season of his career.
He's basically like Trent Dilfer. Nobody remembers that motherfucker, but I do.
Funnily enough, their downfall in the mid-2000s came because of Bruce Allen, who also would ruin Washington much later in his career.
Here's another fun fact for you. Tampa Bay versus Oakland was the last Super Bowl ever to be played in January.
No shit. The Pro Bowl being played before the Super Bowl, it was a really bad move. I don't know unless
it still happens.
I know it still happens, but I don't know. I think it negatively affected turnout.
Yeah, it does. I think you should wait till after the season.
Yeah, but I personally, I don't really have as much animosity towards them as much as I would toward our own organization for failing to prevent that in the first place. They had guys on the board in those drafts, some of those guys, and they passed on them. They passed on both Warren Sapp and John Lynch. And they would also go on to pass on Mike Vrabel and Joey Porter.
Real quick question about the Pro Bowl, though, since we are talking about the playoffs. So do you think they're trying to fill in the void for the 2-week gap between the championship games versus the Super Bowl? Do you think they're trying to fill that gap? That's the reason why they're putting the Pro Bowl there?
Maybe. Or maybe they think they want the Super Bowl to be the finale. They want the Super Bowl to be the football finale. I think that's more the reason.
Right. He said, I hated that soft fruitcake kicker, Martin Gramatica. I hated him too because he also played for Dallas as well as Tampa.
Yeah. I remember that. Dallas went through kickers a lot. Their most reliable ones were Dan Bailey and I think Billy Cundiff back in the day. They had him. They had Gramatica. They had Mike Vanderjack. They had Sean Sweezum for a while before he went to Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Their best one has been Dan Bailey.
Yeah, that dude can kick it from 70.
I forget who was. I think Mike Vanderjack was the one who was kicking when Romo botched the snap.
Yep. It's funny how he wasn't the one to blame in that one. It's Tony for fumbling the snap.
Yeah. Because Romo had to fucking keep it and he didn't get in.
Because normally, whenever kicks like that are missed, it's normally fucking Vanderjack is the one to blame.
Yeah.
He missed one versus the Steelers when he was a Colt.
Oh yeah, that's right. Kind of like he pulls a Doug Bryan.
Wide right. I swear to God, man, whoever returned that shit from the Jerome Bettis fumble, he shouldn't have cut inside to let Ben Roethlisberger fucking tackle him.
Yeah. That it's the same game we're talking about, right? When
Yes.
Doug Bryan was meant to kick the field goal and he missed.
Yep.
Yeah, the Jets fans were calling that the worst loss in their history. And before that was the Mark Gastineau late hit on Bernie Kosar.
Oh God.
People believe that the Jets would have been in the Super Bowl had it not been for that Gastineau hit.
I got a funny question for RPF. What if the Bounty Bowl was freaking put out on Martin Gramatica?
Oh, jeez. Oh, you're bringing up the Bounty Bowl. That was another thing. That was one that I had a bunch of mobs coming after me for saying, who cares about that stupid game?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I know. I know you were there. And I know that. Sometimes when I say that, RPF was like, yeah, I know you know that.
Can't stand Warren Sapp. I can't stand the way he smiles.
Fuck the Bounty Bowl and fuck the body bag game. Because guess what? What do we get out of those? Diddly squat. And by the way, the body bag game, that year the Redskins got the last laugh.
Yep. Yeah. He said, I would love to see that, Hyden.
Yeah, maybe see Trent Cole block it and then pull an Antonio Brown on him and return it for a touchdown.
That would have been nice.
Because Trent Cole leapfrogged the Giants in 08 the same way Myles Garrett did against us earlier in the year.
Was Jeremiah Trotter with us at the time? Because I know he switched back and forth between Washington and us.
Trotter was not here in 08. He was here in 09. He was with Tampa in 07 or 08.
Ah, okay.
I think we let him go after 06. Now his son needs to step up to the plate, and he didn't look the greatest against the Giants so far.
Let him get his rust out. I believe in the young man. That's the man I've been.
Oh, he's got his chance now.
I really love that kid.
If that's who they're playing in place of Nakobe Dean.
I really love this kid. I really wanted him to be on this team. I was rooting for him in the draft.
I kind of did too. But now he gets his opportunity, assuming that's who they're putting in.
Yeah.
He's been pretty good on special teams, though.
He forced the fumble.
Yeah. I thought he recovered it.
Wait. Who forced it?
I think he recovered it, and number 42 is the one who forced the fumble.
42. Is that Rodgers? Is that Isaiah Rodgers?
No, Isaiah Rodgers is 34.
Okay. 42. Fuck. 42 for the fucking Eagles.
When they say it just hit me just now when they said first interception by a corner all season. I thought Cooper DeJean is a corner, but I guess they're labeling him a linebacker for some reason or safety. I don't know.
His name is Oreen Burks.
Oh, I think he's one of our best special teams players.
Well, actually, with all due respect, both of you guys were not alive when the Eagles played the Bounty Bowl, and the body bag game I still don't care about. Yeah, the body bag game I was not alive for either.
Neither were those fanboys that were glorifying it. And by the way,
however,
the thing is, I've already told you this. The people that fucking glorify the late 80s and early 90s era, they show their age by doing that because they weren't around for it. Those were not fun memories for those who watched those games, and RPF is in that class.
Yeah. The body
RPF was among those guys. I have family members that don't like Randall because of that.
The body bag game, however, my middle child brother, he was basically 4 months old when that game happened.
Yeah, 1990.
Yeah. My brother's a Leo.
I don't really believe in astrology too much.
That's another thing. Like, yo, why do women decline men because of their fucking signs?
I don't get it. I don't get it for the life of me.
I never will.
I never will for the life of me. I feel like it's another thing put in place to control people. Like, who gives a fuck? Who gives a fuck what year I was born in? I get it. I was born too late. I get it. But still.
Like, goddamn.
I mean, don't I get punished? It's like, don't I get punished enough for that?
Like, goddamn, like, get to know me personally, man. Like, I'm not like everybody. I'm not like every other Scorpio in the world.
Welcome to my fucking world. Motherfucker, nobody likes to take the time to get to know me. They see me once and I'm fucking signed up to Blockefeller Records or I'm snitched on.
Nobody likes to be fucking compared.
Fuck that. Fucking bullshit. I would rather the conversation doesn't get too much towards that direction, because then I'll start to get mad.
Yeah, let's move on.
Yeah, the late 80s and early 90s, that was one of the darkest periods in Eagles history, yet it gets glorified by these fanboys. They show their age by doing that.
I'm glad I wasn't competent enough to look at the 98 season.
Then again, these same dumbass fanboys will glorify the 2010s, the early 2010s, and the late 00s. Those teams were fucking losers, especially 2010.
Yeah.
That should have been a Super Bowl year, and they fucking collapsed.
Devil's advocate here. People still praise Randall Cunningham in the 80s, although he had a 1-4 playoff record.
RPF does bring up an interesting argument. In his defense, he had He had the worst O-line in the NFL at that time.
Yeah, but still,
in his defense, and I'll always give him credit for this. He took full responsibility for not stepping up to the plate. He never pointed the finger at anybody.
Yeah.
According to Wes Hopkins, Jeremiah Trotter, and Brian Westbrook, McNabb was notorious for never taking accountability, which is why he was never able to level up.
He said, D, the people who talk like the late 80s Eagles teams who weren't alive at the time have no right to talk about the late 80s teams. That's right. Like, if we won titles back in the fucking 80s, I'm sure you would be talking about that, but have no right to talk about it. You can't claim that.
Right, even though we do crap on Super Bowl 15.
And we do crap on Cowboys fans who weren't even alive to see any of the 5 Super Bowls.
That's right. And they only have the quote-unquote head-to-head division match to go off of.
Yeah. I'm so glad yes.
Yeah, 2 years too fucking late if you ask me.
13 years too fucking late.
2 years. I will never forgive them for 2022. I will never forgive them for that season.
The only way that would have been forgiven was if they won a Super Bowl and they blew it.
Yeah, and guess what? They lost it to fucking Andy. Oh, shit. Fuck. I shouldn't be getting into that conversation, because not only am I going to start to get mad, RPF is going to start to get mad. And we don't need that.
Moving on. Actually, anyways, I gotta do my show with Dashy at 3. You got any final words about these people who are just like angry at the Eagles after winning?
Well, on one hand, I totally understand it. Like, the team should have definitely played better on offense. The play calling definitely should have been better. But at the same time, there's a lot of motherfuckers that Desert pointed out. Desert was just merely exposing the contradiction to the maximum degree. So I'm glad we were able to clear that up. Yes. But at the same time, it's also worth remembering. It's also worth keeping in mind. Draw your own conclusions with this one. The Eagles played even worse against the Falcons in 2017 in the division round. Just saying.
That's right.
Whether that will really mean anything in the long run, we will have to wait and see. But whoever we get is whoever we get, and I think we'll win the next game.
Yeah.
And then we face the Lions in Detroit, and whatever happens, happens.
That's right. And to all the Eagles fans who are trying to, just try to dictate how other Eagles fans are supposed to act, like, man, get the fuck out of here with that.
AK trying to play program director.
Yeah, like, you can't. Your prerogative is not my prerogative. So
it's like if motherfuckers want to be cocky as hell, more power to them. And if it fucking blows up in their face, they need to own up to that shit.
Hey, crazy RPF. There's a song you could play. My Prerogative by fucking Bobby Brown. That's a motivation song for you. Can't tell me what to do. Not in my own house. It's my prerogative. Fuck out of here. Get the fuck off my nuts. Nobody tells me what to do. Anyways. Anyways, we're out of time. I got to get ready for my show with Dashy. We're going to do Buckeye Talk. Hope y'all join me for that. Hope you join me for that as well. Thank you for being my guest, Big D. And we will catch y'all in about 20 minutes.
I'm probably going to eat a boatload of meat or maybe get a pizza and then just pass the fuck out, hopefully.
That's okay, Ali. You can catch me in 20 minutes. I'm going to be talking about the Buckeyes with Dashy. But we out.
Peace.
And chicken grease.